Here we are again, India v England, second test, day 2. It's Ask George.
Hey, are we doing these videos every day?
We are, George. We'll be producing these videos from every day of the 5-test series, and you can submit your questions via our social media channels at any time during the test match using the hashtag AskGeorge. Remember, you can read all of George's exclusives from England's tour of India and more by subscribing to the Cricketers digital offering for only £3.99 a month. Just
$3.99?
That's all. That's all. I mean,
bargain.
Yeah, cost of a coffee. Just follow the link in the video description. Right.
It was very natural. It was very natural. I don't think anyone could tell that you were reading that.
Well, I'll get to learn it by the end of the series, I expect. Now, did you have a nice day?
That's an interesting question. Yes, I suppose I did. I mean, I got to watch Jasprit Bumrah bowling. That feels a bit special.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he's amazing, isn't he?
He is. He's a one-off, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he probably is.
In the mirror.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone I've ever seen bowl like him, apart from a few people on the internet recently who are obviously copying him. And I can't think of anyone more difficult among seamers to face in the world at the moment.
I suppose, yeah, in terms of that idiosyncrasy, I suppose Malinga was unique in a way, wasn't he? Yeah. But
yeah.
No, very special indeed. Right, shall we crack on then?
We should.
For Ask George. Okay. Aidan McLaughlin asks,
hello, Aidan.
As painful as it may be for England fans, isn't it simply a joy to watch Bumrah at his best?
Bumrah is very, very good. So it is a treat. And yeah, it's really important to remember that. I mean, he's really, really special. I think that I suppose he hasn't played forever, but I think he's one of the greats already. I really do. I mean, not just the uniqueness of the action. It's still sort of bewildering where he gets the pace from, but his mastery of reverse in particular, and his control. I mean, his control's immaculate, and he keeps getting England players out with he seems to be reversing it away from them at times, yeah? So he got Rehan out in Hyderabad with that one, and it makes it look as if the batter's played a poor shot because he's been going in, and then he bowls slightly wider and makes it go away, and he draws them in, and he did it today, I think, to Johnny Bairstow. And it looks like a dodgy shot. It probably wasn't a great shot, but masterful bowling. And then, of course, there's the ball to Ollie Pope. And I'll compare him to, there are some bowlers, you kind of know what they're going to bowl, and you still can't face it. And I'll give you 3 examples of Yorker bowlers who did that. Well, actually, you mentioned one, Malinga, Joel Garner, Waqar Younis. You kind of knew what was coming. Good luck playing it. And that's very unusual. So his mastery of the Yorker, the amount he makes it come in, it's wonderful. Even Ollie Pope will be looking at that on a level, going, wonderful bowling. It's beautiful.
Well, Stokes did last test, didn't he? Sort of just, how can I play that kind of thing? I think
he's done that twice.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the ball today kept a bit low, to be fair, and I'm not sure that, oh, look, if the bowler hits the pitch hard enough, I always think they deserve a wee bit of reward. Like I thought Anderson got 1 wicket, just well, actually, with the one which went wider and it smashed out to extra cover or something, wasn't it? It's fair. I mean, beaten the bat, half a dozen times? You've beaten him half a dozen times. Saw him coming, makes it go wider. It's not one that he'll want to put on the highlights reel of his career, is it? But I think the bowler pretty much always deserves their wicket. It's such tough work, and they have so little luck in other ways. But yeah, Bumrah, you're right, is a special bowler, and India are lucky to have him. And to be honest, I think we're all pretty lucky to watch him.
How he keeps that arm just so ramrod straight, isn't it? It's like a machine, isn't it? As you say.
And where he gets the pace from, because he trots up and then only runs for and how he learned to do it, and whether it would have been coached out of him in England. There are all these things, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And he spoke after play as well. He seems like a very thoughtful, humble. I don't know, a really, really wonderful example for everybody of what can be achieved. Brilliant bowler.
Nice. Okay, background noise. our old friend, says, not sure England have done too much wrong in that innings, mainly just great bowling.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth in that, but I've written today. I'd be interested to know other people's thoughts. I thought Zach Crawley gave it away a wee bit, but the problem with saying that is we know how England play. We know that they try and put the pressure back on the bowlers, and he was trying to hit Axar Patel off his length, trying to change the field. It's difficult. Well, I think it would be wrong to praise that when it goes well and just criticise it when it doesn't. But I do think there's a time and place, and obviously the dismissal looked ugly because he, his third ball that Axar bowled, I think, and he sliced it to backward point. But the ball was just starting to reverse, and it was really difficult for batters coming in. And I thought England should have realised that they needed 450, 500. I really do think they needed 500 to stay in the game. They certainly needed a lead. And there are just times, I can't remember who it was, but one of my friends, Anthony, who might be watching, tells me that Hutton was asked about Cowdrey, I think, and asked to compare him to Wally Hammond. And he thought for a bit and he said, Wally was hungry. That's probably a very bad impression. But sometimes the difference is just about hunger. Just really, really wanting the extra runs. And Zach Crawley sometimes is so laissez-faire, so relaxed, so good at what he does, but I just wish he were ravenously hungry. He could do with a wee bit of that Jack Callis hunger.
Len Hutton apparently didn't like Tom Graveney because he had rosy cheeks. Tom Graveney told me that. Well,
I imagine they were I imagine they're very different characters, but yeah, I'm sure they respected one another.
Right. Yaya Marjan asks, can England turn the table again?
Well, of course they can. I mean, of course they can. We've seen them make all sorts of incredible comebacks in the last couple of years, haven't we? I mean, right from the start, in the last test, they were 190 behind. Is it likely? Hell no. But, you'd be a fool to write this team off. They keep doing it. But no, they're almost at the stage where they need snookers.
Yeah, well, they were last time, and Ollie Pope got 196. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Right, but this time they are batting fourth.
Yeah,
I think the pitch is quite as tricky, but it might go that way. When Stokes got that one from Bumrah, I did think, bad news. But, when you ask, can they? Of course they can. Will they? Well, you would think not.
Yeah.
I hope that distinction makes sense.
Whose turn is it to perform the miracle in this game?
Whose turn is it? Well, that's quite interesting. It is, Joe Root's. It's Joe Root's turn. A bit short of runs, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I was watching the highlights yesterday of Joe Root bowling. He seems to be bowling medium pace half the time. What was that?
Oh my God. See, yesterday he bowled a bouncer.
Yeah.
It's a true story. And the previous bouncer had been bowled by Jimmy Anderson and was 127 Ks. And the one that he bowled, I think, was 123. Really? There's only 4 Ks difference.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these things on the TV screen and you wonder if you've seen them properly. Maybe someone else saw it, could check. No one corrected me, or maybe they did on YouTube, but I think I got that thing wrong about the use of the Fade to Grey and Silence of the Lambs, so I'm sorry about that. And no one corrected. No one tells me whether Graham Hick got no runs against Murali in the series in Sri Lanka, which I'm sure he told me, but I might be wrong.
He seemed to lack the flight and guile that he had in the first test, Joe Root. At times.
Well, I thought he dropped short a bit, but I also thought that the pitch was a bit more unforgiving, and it, maybe as simple as that. But yeah, you're right. Maybe he didn't bowl quite as well. No, he didn't.
Occidental Tourist. Would Robinson have been a better option than one of the spinners? Are England guilty of factoring in possible tail end runs ahead of bowling suitability? Well, Robinson's not a terrible batsman, is he? Batter, I should say. No,
he's not. Certainly not against anything, but I don't think, he's not a terrible batter, and he's a very good bowler. I'm a big Robinson fan. Who are you leaving out? Out of interest. Oh, well, he can't really answer, can he? I don't know who I'm asking. It's stupid question. I mean, you're leaving out Hartley, who took 7th. Probably not. Yeah. You're leaving out Sherbashir, who turned out to be the best of the bowlers in the first innings, best of the spinners. You're leaving out Rihan, who I might have done, by the way. But he did take a 3 for and he came back a bit.
And he's bowling quite well on this
Don't
one.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bowled a bit better, hasn't he? I mean, he is a 19-year-old leg spinner, so he will bowl bad balls, but he's good to the tail. I mean, that's one of the things they like about him.
Yeah.
I can see that. If I'm honest, I might have played Robinson ahead of him. So I kind of agree with the question, but you couldn't say it hasn't worked. In that, he took 3 for 68, was it? It's not bad, is it?
No, it's good. Yep, definitely. Okay, Swapnil Singh asks, does the lone 41-year-old seamer being the pick of the bowlers indicate that perhaps England got their 11 wrong? Well, that's a similar sort of question, isn't it?
Well, similar, but I don't know that it does really. It sort of justifies the pick, I think. I'd say again, I wouldn't necessarily have done it, but he is capable of bowling longer spells than Wood, and I thought he bowled really, really well. So I thought he more than did his job, and he could have easily taken more wickets. I mean, he's an amazing bowler. I mean, another day, you could have talked about the mastery of Jimmy Anderson, but I mean, he got out-bowled later by a younger man. Bumrah is able to do things at a pace that he can't anymore. But it's incredible what Jimmy Anderson does. But we've been down this route before and talked about it before. But it is amazing. And he bowled an 8-over spell this morning. Took 2 for 15 in it, I think, maybe 17. It's pretty immense from a 41-year-old, but I think the fact that he can still do it. What I would say is he did look stiff in the second innings. He should have been given a night with his feet up. But England didn't bat well enough, and he comes back out and he bowled, something he very rarely bowls, which is sort of a long outside off stump to Rohit, and got square cut for 4. You don't see that often. He's tired. You've got to be reasonable. I mean, he looks stiff and tired. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
So probably so to be fair, they probably could have done with another seamer then. Yeah, Ollie Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last question. But Banu Prasad asks, do you think Root's batting form is a concern? Given that he is England's best batter against spin, he is their best bet if they have to make a comeback in the series.
It depends what you mean. You're right to illustrate to make the point that he's not scoring many runs, and he hasn't actually done for a little while because he had by his high standards, a disappointing World Cup. He's working hard in the net. Well, not obviously, but he is. Trust me. And so there's no lack of effort. I think there's a couple of things. One, Bumrah's really good. Okay, I think probably we should start thinking about Bumrah as a great. Yeah, Wacker and Wasim and Malcolm Marshall and of recent times Dale Steyn. I think we're probably in that category, and that is the highest of praise. Well, did you not?
Yeah, agree. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he's targeting Root and bowling very well to him. So he's getting them out with that full one, which we have seen happen early doors. Root, and today he got him, fourth stump really. Yeah. Really good areas. Asking him to play. He's very, very difficult. You've got pace, bounce, movement both ways. It is a real package of skills. So the other thing with Root is, and someone like Root, is he plays the ball terribly late, which is obviously an amazing asset. When you get it wrong, it maybe looks bad. Maybe looks a bit worse, I wouldn't be, he's going to work very hard and he will score runs again. There's no reason why it should have gone. All I'd say about Root is that he might be the sort that needs a break, not to work extra hard. I hope that someone around him tells him that. Nearly all the cricketers I've ever known, nearly all of them have worked too hard rather than too little. And batters in particular, if they don't score runs, they let it eat away at them. And there's something about this regime actually which is very positive in that way, in that they get out there and do other things. But he's a natural worker, a natural trainer. I think, to be honest, he's just getting some really, really good balls. Yeah. And that can happen. But, I remember Kim Barnett saying years ago, as an opening batter, if you keep saying to yourself, I'm getting good balls, there's a problem. But it is, we've had 3 innings in the series. It's not a crisis at this point. And so was the question, should we be worried about him? No. But are you right to point out that he's not scoring any runs? Sure. Well, just one thing.
Yep,
I can't believe you've done it. And you'd be disappointed if I didn't mention it. There are 2 cups behind you today.
there are. Carpe diems.
Well, I don't believe that you've won another one overnight.
No,
I mean,
it's
maybe
Carpe
you
Diems.
have.
Carpe Diems Player of the Year, and I was talking
Not for
to
presenting.
I have my admirers. I mean, the bloke who called me Turnipville last year. I mean, I think secretly he like me. I mean, you know,
Turnipville.
exactly.
I love that. That's terrific. I
What
forgot
was
that.
another one? The
Turnipville. I'm sorry.
2 blokes to give the impression of having enough of each other or something. Or was another
That's
one, wasn't
tickled me.
it? Yeah.
It has, but I love I just want people watching to think about what's happened in the last few hours, and that you have made the effort of finding this other cup and putting it behind you in the hope that someone would notice. No, I find it
Yeah.
quite
Well
endearing.
done for doing that. Yeah. I'm going to change it.
It amuses me.
I'm going to just change it every.
God,
so
I haven't thought about my background at all.
No, it's similar, isn't it? Last time.
Well, I'm in a hotel room. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, no cups.